With all of the self-care content circulating online, promoting hundreds to thousands of dollars worth of beauty products, it can sometimes feel overwhelming or downright impossible to find a self-care routine that won't make you go broke. It's so easy to fall into the comparison trap, always wanting the newest or the trendiest new thing in order to look and feel better. But what if I told you that you don't need to spend any money to actually start improving your life? That new beauty gadget that you've been wanting isn't going to make you feel better if you don't know how to regulate your own emotions. And that expensive serum that you've been eyeing might make your skin look great temporarily, but you still won't feel comfortable in your own skin if you haven't done the work. Self-care isn't about treating yourself and giving in to every single whim and impulse that you have. Self-care is about taking ownership over your life and making the responsible choices to improve your health and well-being by doing the things that are actually good for you. So in today's video, I'm going to share 6 free self-care habits that you can start doing today to make lasting changes to your life, and it won't cost you a thing. Now, none of these tips are going to be new or revolutionary. In fact, you've probably heard it all before, and these are just the tips that I've been sharing with my clients and things that I've been doing in my own life that have really made a difference. Tip number 1 is to go outside and get your body moving. You don't need a fancy gym membership, and you don't need that new workout set that you've been eyeing. Simply just going outside for a walk, bringing your yoga mat to the park can make a huge difference. By now, we've probably heard of all of the amazing benefits that come with exercising, from making you feel better, improving your overall health, and even preventing chronic illness. But sometimes we make it a harder thing than it really needs to be. We don't have to run 10 miles or something to really make a difference. It really starts with just these small little changes. So if you haven't been active lately, that's okay. Put on your pair of sneakers and take a walk around the block. Now, moving your body doesn't have to feel like another chore, something that you just have to check off the list. The key here is to find something that you actually enjoy doing. You want to build an exercise routine that is actually going to be sustainable for you, something that you're looking forward to. For example, I really hate running. I tried to be a running girly and it was just never for me, and so I thought to myself, I should probably just stop doing cardio altogether. But I recently took this kickboxing class and it was a really great workout and I had a lot of fun. So I'm more likely to go back to that kickboxing class than to see myself on a treadmill, because to be honest, running for me is just extremely painful and I dread it so much. So why do something that you're gonna dread? Find something that you actually like. It can be anything from dancing, taking a walk, kickboxing, swimming, whatever it is that gets your body moving. Tip number 2 is to learn something new. When we think of self-care, I feel like we really focus on the physical aspects of it, making sure that we're getting enough exercise, eating nutritious foods, and getting enough sleep. And while all of those things are definitely important, it's also important to nourish our minds and to be lifelong learners. By investing your time in learning new things, you open up so many more opportunities for yourself and you keep your mind sharp. Studies have also shown that learning new things and challenging your brain may also prevent things like dementia. To do this, you could try picking up a new hobby or a new skill, and with the age of the internet, you can pretty much learn how to do almost anything online these days. You can learn how to do things like dance, bake, draw, whatever it is that you're interested in. You can start doing those things for free. Something that I've been learning how to do is how to edit, script, film, take pictures, and at first I didn't spend any money. I just used whatever I had. When I first started making YouTube videos, I just used my phone. I would prop it up on like a cup or something, and I just used my free editing software that I had. And if you find something that you really like doing and you want to start investing more time or more money into it, you can down the line. But when you're first starting out, it's really not necessary to spend any money. So if you're anything like me, you might already have a lot of hobbies that you're interested in, and it's not the right time to pick up a new hobby because you're already trying to juggle all of them. So if that's the case, you could always just read a book or an article online, learning about something that you've never heard before, or maybe just going a little bit deeper in something that you already know about. And you don't need to spend any money to read. You can just go to the library and check out a free book, or if you prefer ebooks, you can also use the app Libby, where you can download tons of free ebooks and audiobooks as well. Just remember that learning is a lifelong process, so start exploring and see what interests you. Tip number 3 is to declutter your space. One of my favorite quotes is external clutter is internal clutter. And I think there's so much truth to this because our environment can make such a huge impact on our mood and our productivity. So, for example, if my home is messy or my desk is messy, I feel like I can't really get much done. And I also start feeling pretty irritable. But as soon as I take a couple of minutes just to put everything back where they're supposed to be, or even just tidying up a little bit, I feel so much more at peace and so much more calm. So something that you can start doing today that will make a really big impact is just start tidying up for a few minutes every single day. It can be something as simple as making your bed in the morning, and if you're not a fan of making your bed in the morning, that's okay. It can be something else like tidying up your desk or just picking things up off the floor. And once you start doing this, you might be surprised how much better you feel having a nice tidy space. Tip number 4 is to reach out to your friends or your family. Socializing and connecting with other people is so important, and I feel like it's often overlooked when we think about self-care, especially now when we live in a world where people are feeling more and more lonely and disconnected than ever before. I'm from California and I moved to Washington almost 3 years ago, and I remember how hard it was my very first year because I didn't know anybody. I was living so far away from my family and friends. So the only people that I would really talk to were my coworkers and my husband. And even though I still texted and called my friends and family, sometimes I felt really lonely, and that just really affected my mood and got to the point where I just felt so isolated. I think that making friends when you're older is a lot harder. When I was in college, it was so easy to make friends because you had so many things in common with people. You were either in the same classes or in the same clubs, or just by proximity, there were so many people that you could talk to. But when you start working, you actually have to start making more of an effort to meet new people. So I started going to workout classes, I started inviting my coworkers out, and I even relied more on my friends and family back at home, especially when I was feeling lonely. And those small changes made such a huge difference to my well-being. I think that nowadays we really emphasize how important it is to be independent and self-sufficient, and to have this attitude that you don't need anybody, you can do it all yourself. But I don't really believe that. I think that it's really important to have people who love us and support us and who are there for us, especially when we're going through something difficult. So the next time that you're feeling a little bit sad or a little bit lonely, reach out to a family member or reach out to a friend. Do something like going out for a walk with them, or just giving them a call, sending them a message. It can make such a huge difference to your well-being to remember that there is somebody there in your corner. So this next tip is not only free, but it's actually going to help you make money over time. And this tip is to open a high yield savings account. So I've been doing a lot of research on self-care trends in social media, and anytime I type up self-care anywhere, I feel like the thing I get most are self-care hauls where people are spending so much money buying things. But buying things just because you want them or just because you saw it on somebody's social media isn't self-care, especially if you can't even afford it in the first place. It's just irresponsible and reckless. And I also got caught up in all of this. When I was in my 20s, I thought that I needed to have that newest eyeshadow palette, that newest hair tool, and I was spending money on things that I didn't even need. So instead of saving money and preparing for my future, I was just overspending and living paycheck to paycheck, which just made me feel even more anxious and even worse about my situation. Now that I'm in my 30s, my priorities have definitely shifted. I try really hard not to buy things that I don't need, so that I'm more intentional about the things that I'm buying and the things that I'm allowing into my life. So if you don't already have a savings account, then I highly recommend that you open one and just put some money aside, because you never know when something is going to happen, and you'll have that peace of mind that you can take care of yourself down the line if an emergency comes up. If you already have a savings account and you have enough money in there to cover a couple months worth of expenses, you could also consider saving for retirement as well as investing, because your future self will thank you. Now, I'm definitely not a financial expert by any means, but if you are interested in learning how to make your money work for you, then I highly recommend looking up how to invest your money, because preparing for the future is such an important part of self-care. And the last habit is journaling. If you've been following me for a while, then you know how much I love journaling, and it's something that I try to do every day because it just makes me feel so much better, especially when I'm going through something really difficult and I need something to help me process what I'm going through. Now, you don't have to journal every single day to really get get the benefit of it, even just journaling a handful of times or whenever you can still make a really big impact on your life. Journaling has so many good benefits for you, one of them being that it can help you regulate your emotions, and another one being that it can help you reconnect with yourself. Some people might call this intuition or their highest self, their life force, but the idea is that the more that you journal, the more connected you are to that inner voice. Sometimes when we're going through something particularly difficult, it can feel like we're disconnected from ourselves because we're so focused on everything that's going on outside the external world. But when we spend a lot of time paying attention to everything that's going on outside of us, we're not really paying enough attention to what we need inside. And journaling can really help you process those feelings. And what I love about journaling is that it's such a personal experience, and there are so many different types of journaling that you can try. You can do art journaling, bullet journaling, guided journaling. It really doesn't matter as long as you find something that allows you to express yourself. Journaling can also help you manage your anxiety and your stress, and I made an entire video about a journaling prompt that you could try called the worry list, and this is something that I've been doing that's been really helpful, especially when I'm feeling really anxious. So I'll link that video in the corner so you could check it out if you haven't already. And there you have it. Those are 6 free self-care habits that you can start implementing today to actually improve your life. Now, you don't even have to do these every single day, or you don't even have to do all of them. You can just pick one thing to start incorporating and build on that. The most important thing to do is to just get started. But if you're still feeling a little stuck and you're not sure where to start, you can watch this video next. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. And as always, take care of yourself because you deserve it, and I'll see you in my next video.